last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's a clinical psychologist, founder and empower psychotherapy, a telehealth group practice based in Arizona, none other than Mr. Bryan Gastelle. Welcome, Mr. Bryan. Book One Review, and can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Yes, I'm a clinical psychologist, the founder and owner of Empower Psychotherapy. We're 100% telehealth, and our mission is to deliver care that's easy to navigate. We want to base it on evidence and make it collaborative between the provider and the client.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Bryan. And today let's talk about starting a group practice or private practice as a therapist. So, what was the defining moment of the final push that made you decide to transition from working someone else to building your own practice?
That's a really good question. It started really as a dream of mine. I've always wanted to combine my love of business with my love of psychology. And I actually made that decision from, I think it was undergrad. I had actually decided to do it. What made me start actually was as soon as I got into the field, I realized that there's a lot of gaps in care and there's a lot of things that really could be improved. And so the mission was to make those improvements myself and give people a product that I would want.
Product that we want for sure. So, what are the most common fears you had to confront? Financially, instability, isolation, or clinical responsibility, and how did you move through them?
Yeah, so there was a lot of fear around it. Really, I think the financial piece is definitely big. It's launching a practice is a lot about balancing a budget especially as soon as you get into the group part of it. When I was working for myself, because it was kind of a gradual transition between solo practice and then I went into group, it was a lot simpler because I would just manage all of my own books, no muss, no fuss, and everything I knew how to do. When I went into group practice, you have to start making hires because you quickly realize you can't do everything yourself. And you start seeing a lot bigger figures flying around in terms of, finances. So that was a little scary at first. I think there's a little bit of imposter syndrome when you launch a group practice too. It's like, really, me? I can do it. And I think I did overcome that, but that was definitely there too. That was another big one.
Yes, you can do it, people. You can do it. For a therapist considering this leap, what are the key signs they are or are not truly ready to start their own practice?
I'm sorry.
So what? For a therapist out there considering this leap, what are the key signs that they are not or are not truly ready to start their own practice?
Oh, okay. So I think if you feel as a therapist that, people come to you or you feel like you can navigate different problems autonomously, I think that's a big part of it. One of the things that's interesting about being a leader is that everyone looks to you to answer these complex problems. And the more experience I got, the more confident I became. So I think if you're someone that feels as though you still want to lean on supervision or you're just not sure, just stay in the field a little bit longer, get used to it, and then go out on your own. And I think if you're someone that finds yourself answering a lot of these questions without seeking a lot of help, you feel that experience catching up, then maybe it is time to branch out on your own. Um, it is a big jump. It does take a little bit of courage. You got to step outside of your comfort zone, but I encourage, everyone listening to listen to yourself and go for it if you want it.
Listen to yourself, people. If you have the passion, yes, go, go, go. Stop procrastinating. So, Mr. Brian, let's talk about the nuts and bolts of loans. Let's talk about the paralysis by paperwork. Beyond the obvious, what are the most crucial legal and business setup steps that new practitioners often overlook?
In terms of paperwork, and I would say there's really a lot of it. There's just different bodies you have to keep track of, like NPI, your taxonomy code. The list really goes on. There's credentialing, CAQH. So again, I think for those looking to start a group practice, one of your first hires should probably be admin or a coordinator, because there's just a lot of paperwork and it's hard to keep your eyes on the big picture if you're getting bogged down with that. So I was lucky enough to find a fantastic coordinator right off the bat, and she's really been instrumental in developing this business.
Interesting, Mr. Brian. So, how do you approach the critical early decision of your business structure and choosing an EHR system? What questions should someone ask themselves to make the right choice?
Good question. So EHR is a big part of the practice, and it has a lot to do with budgeting. It has a lot to do with workflow. It has a lot to do with growth. So, first question you'd want to ask is, how big do I want to get this thing? So, if you're starting off and you're just working by yourself, then there are EHRs out there. Alma comes to mind, where the reimbursement rates are fantastic. It's simple. Basically just really easy to use for one person. Um, Currently, I'm using Headway as an EHR, which is great. Headway, they make it simple to grow, and they do a lot of the back end work. There is a little bit of a trade off in terms of reimbursement sometimes, but it's all just pros and cons. And then there's private contracts too, which are a little bit more, you have to be very organized and have a lot of admin work, but it can be rewarding too. So I think you want to really plan out what the business is going to look like, how big do you want it to be, and the logistics before you choose an EHR. It's a good question.
So, Mr. Brian, thank you for that. And how did you find the essential professionals for your startup team, like lawyer, accountant, consultant who understand therapy specific business?
So my strategy was to go lean at first. You can do everything up to like a freelance lawyer that is on retainer, down to LegalZoom and just quick solutions like that. So it just depends on the level of risk you're interested in taking on, the amount of startup capital you have. For me, I wanted to start really lean, so I do this automated service called Herd for accounting, and they'll basically run your books, do your taxes, and it's all automated. There is a little bit of user side work, but it is a bit of a trade-off. And yeah, with the lawyer, I started with LegalZoom. I just did the quick consultations just to basically make the overhead lean, but it is a judgment call. It depends on how robust you want it to be, the startup capital, all of those factors.
Mr. Brian, let's talk about the clinical and ethical foundation. How do you intentionally design your clinical policies to protect both your clients' care and your own sustainability from a day one?
That is actually the main part of my mission is any that has to do with the client experience. Most of the policies are built to protect that. And so if I notice any sort of problem like mismatched scheduling or any sort of issue with the client experience, immediately there will be a policy around that. My strategy and mission has been very client centric. So generally, if it's a bad experience for the client, there's probably going to be a policy about it as soon as I hear about it.
Yes. And what specific system do you put in place to manage the immense weight of sole clinical responsibility and prevent burnout, especially when dealing with complex cases without immediate colleague support?
Structure of the business I run leans more on freelance or contractor work. We do have a couple of employees, but many contractors, and a lot, like even with the employees, I let them design their own schedules because I think that it's easy to detect burnout if we're allowed to look for it and our job's not saying like you have to show up and do this anyway. So to an extent, I let people design their own schedules and make it work for them. And that's really been the biggest lever against burnout that I've put in. Other things I do bi-monthly team meetings. It's just meant to be a morale booster. I pay for it too, and I do a lot of like support through the shared company drive as well.
Mr. Brian, navigating referrals and potential wait lists is a new challenge. How do you establish a thoughtful, ethical process for client intake and, when necessary, referrals out?
Okay. So the client intake, a lot of it is getting them situated with an accurate quote. We don't want clients thinking they're going to pay one thing and then finding out they're going to pay another. Another is we do try to get what's called a biopsychosocial assessment done for them. So that gives the provider a big snapshot of what the client's coming in for so that we can be a little bit more efficient in the initial interview. Sometimes clients don't always, know how to do that or have the time to do that, and that's okay. So we make it optional, but we encourage it. As far as the rest of the intake, we do a depression inventory and anxiety inventory. A couple of questions that are pointed at direct care just to save time in the first session.
Mr. Brian, marketing and building a client base. In a crowded market, how do you discover, clarify your niche or a specialization, and what are the first most effective steps you took to become visible to the specific community?
Mhm. Marketing it can definitely be challenging in this industry. I approach it from a very comprehensive style. So we do blogs, social media. We do what else? Manage Psychology Today profiles, SEO. Pretty much anything that is going to improve our marketing, we're probably doing it. So I would encourage those looking to start a practice to really set aside a good chunk of the budget for marketing, because the more you market, the more income you get. And another big one is Google Ads. Google Ads is really good too. And social media ads are another one.
Yes. Google ads, people, Google ads and social media are good for marketing. And as a founder, Mr. Brian, what are your short term and long term goals? Mr. Brian,
Mhm.
as a
As
founder,
mhm.
what are your short term and long term goals?
Oh, okay. So short-term goals are to reach. I want to get to 35 providers, and then see what happens with our system. Right now we're at 23, and it's. I want to build out the multi-state side of it. So we're strong in Arizona, we're strong in New York, we've got a little bit of presence in Florida, a little bit in North Carolina, and a little bit in Michigan. But I want to give clients the ability to still have a therapist with Empower should they move, should their therapist not be licensed in a specific place. And I also want to be a little bit of a one stop shop in having like medication management as well for them. So I guess that's kind of both. Short term would be to hit 35 providers. Long term would be to go nationwide and provide med management and therapy in a very easy to navigate way.
What are the most common hidden time demands that the new practice owners don't anticipate? How do you protect your clinical and personal time from them? And Mr. Brian, good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Really common things you run into, I think, are you have to be really willing to delegate and go outside of your comfort zone. A lot of therapists, or a lot of founders, I should say, are visionaries. And I think that personality type, you want to have control over things. And a lot of it is the art of letting go and just delegating things to people, because you can't do it all. And you'll learn that quickly when you start a group practice. So it's knowing when to delegate, I would say, is probably the biggest piece of advice I would give anyone considering it.
Well, Mr. Brian, as a founder, what are your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
I would say go for it. If that's your dream, I think you can do it. It does take a little bit of courage. You got to step outside of your comfort zone. You got to take risks. There's a lot of planning involved, but I also think that it's very rewarding. If that's, something that you really value, I think you'll find a lot of meaning in it. And I encourage you to go for it.
Yes, go for it, people. Go, 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 and stop procrastinating. And what will be your piece of, not piece of advice, a recommendation for a book or books that influence your journey?
Yeah, let's see. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl is a good one. Uh, Influence, Robert Cialdini. And let's say, I'm going to do a clinical one. The Body Keeps the Score, Besser van der Kolk.
Interesting, interesting books, Mr. Brian. I thank you for that recommended books. Looking back, what is a one piece of conventional practice building advice you choose to ignore, and what did you instead that worked better for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Conventional advice, I would say, is probably, um, I think conventionally, a lot of people start out with direct contracts, which I think is, there's definitely pros and cons to it. The direct contracts is definitely more complicated. There's going to be a lot more admin load, so you need to build that into your budget and make sure you're going to, have an assistant that's affordable, and you can your income matches the price of that assistant. So what I did was I streamlined a lot of it with these platforms like Headway, um, and we're moving in potentially to Simple Practice as well. But look for a platform that does a lot of the back end work. I think I would recommend to anyone considering it, and that's the bit of unconventional wisdom I can offer is a lot of people just go for the direct contracts. I would say think outside the box, think efficiency, and make sure that you don't overload yourself.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the empowering answer, Mr. Brian.
Of
And
course.
before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in third season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101 are fourth season, science 101 and sex 101, and it's second season. And my baby podcast, mental health 101, law 101, bible verses 101, and motivation 101, and of course entrepreneurship 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Brian, if you could give one piece of encouragement to the therapist listening who is dreaming of this but feels overwhelmed, what would it be?
I would tell the therapist that feels overwhelmed to have confidence in yourself and have courage. That's what it took for me. It does. It's a leap. You have to take a risk and know you're taking a risk, and uh, it will it will push you, and that's okay. I think you can handle it. You got this.
You got this, people. You got this. Go, 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 and stop procrastinating. Building your legacy to the world because life is too short. Just like Mr. Bryan Gastelle doing right now. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mister. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now? Mr. Brian, where the people can reach you.
So, if you want to contact me, you can go to my website, www.empowermytherapy.com, and click book a free consultation. I can talk to you about therapy recommendations, what I do. And if you just want to reach out, you can always email me at my full name, Bryan Gastelle, at empowerpsychotherapyllc.com.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Bryan Gastelle because if you support him for sure, more and more empowering business like this to come. So, Mr. Bryan, one more question. What are the most common hidden time demands that the new practice owner don't anticipate?
Time demands, I would say, is one thing you get is a lot of questions coming in from the new providers, and even sometimes like the coordinator staff and the admin staff. And so I think, again, it goes back to delegation. Don't be afraid to let people figure stuff out on their own sometimes.
Yes, again, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Bryan. And more to come, people. See you soon.